Right, a quick video practice along for grade 1 scales with alternative fingerings. So I've got the circle of fifths up on the screen here, which tells us the relationship between all the scales, and there's 5 keys that you need to know for this grade. The first of which is C major, which is right at the top at 12 o'clock. And underneath we can see there are no sharps or flats written, which means that in this key we're going to be using white notes only. So I've got this marked out on the keyboard, and we'll just get the score up as well. So there's some colour coding going on. So the black notes, the ones that are marked black, is the first and the fifth note of the scale, and that's where the thumbs are going to play. So the purple ones will be played with fingers 2, 3 and 4. Then orange ones will be 2 and 3. Similarly with the left hand, 4, 3 and 2 on the way up, and then 3 and 2 for the orange ones. And thumbs. There's the scale going up and down. So this one is only required to be played 1 octave up and down, but it's going to be both hands at the same time. So we'll just practice the top octave with the right hand, thumb on the starting note, the tonic, 2, 3 and 4, thumb on the dominant, 2 and 3, and you'll finish on 4 at the top. Back down the way you came, 3 and 2, thumbs on the G, 4, 3 and 2, finish on the 1. So the left hand will start with the 5th finger, then that's in position for 4, 3 and 2, thumb on the G, 3 and 2, thumb, back down, 2, 3, thumb, 2, 3, 4, and finish on your little finger. So when we're going together, we're really looking out for that place in the middle where the thumbs will both meet on the Gs. So it starts out fairly straightforwardly, then the next note is G, so I'm going to put my right hand thumb underneath the rest of the fingers, and then I'm going to put my left hand third finger over, which will give me enough fingers to get to the top, and then turn back round. The G's coming up again, so left hand thumb goes under this time, and then just need to get to the end, so it's going to be 4th finger and right, which will give me enough fingers to get back down to C. So you can just keep rewinding this bit and practicing it until you're able to do that fluently. I'm going to move on now to A minor. So let's just check back to our circle of fifths at the beginning. You can see A minor is written underneath C major, which shows that it's the relative minor, which means it has the same black notes. In other words, in this case, we won't have any, because we're going to be playing the natural minors for this grade. When you come to higher grades, you'll have to do things like harmonic and melodic minors, but we're not going to worry about that. I think it's useful to see the relationship between the C major, all white notes, and A minor, all white notes. So in this scale, you're required to play 2 octaves, but only right and left hand separately. So I've got all the notes for A minor now marked out. So again, the black one's on the 1st and the 5th note in each octave, the tonic and the dominant, which is what we're going to do for the alternative fingering. If you prefer the standard fingerings, I'm sure there's absolutely plenty of resources for that too. So let's just look at that. Just all white notes, very, very simple pattern to remember, and it's the same fingering, so I'll start here in the 2nd octave up, thumb on the A, 4, 3 and 2, 2, 3 and 4, thumb on the E, 2 and 3, thumb on the A, turn around and use the same fingers on the way back down, thumb, 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 and similarly with the left hand. Start with the little finger, thumb on the E, thumb on the A, 4, 3 and 2, thumb on the E, again, you can keep rewinding this chapter on A minor until you can play that fluently all the way up and down. Not like that. So it makes it slightly more difficult to play when you're trying not to knock counters off the keyboard. So now we've come back to our circle of fifths and we're going to move one round to the right, which is G major, and we can see from the key signature written underneath that there's one sharp in this, and it's on the top line, which is F. So all the F's are going to be sharpened. So if I turn back to the piano and get the score showing G major. So I've laid out the counters from G to G, but these counters here on the Fs are going to have to be raised up onto the F sharps. Let's just watch the shape of that scale. So everything else is exactly the same principle, exactly the same fingering pattern, just remembering not to play Fs, to play F sharps instead. Here it is with the right. Thumb, thumb, 2, 3, 4, thumb, 2, 3. Turn around on the fourth, 3 and 2, thumb, 4, 3, 2, thumb, 3, 2, thumb, 4, 3, 2. And exactly the same left hand begins on little finger, 4, 3, 2, thumb on the dominant, 3, 2, thumb on the tonic, 4, 3, 2, thumb on the dominant, 3, 2, back down to where you came, 2, 3, thumb on the dominant, thumb on the tonic, 2, 3, thumb on the dominant, 2, 3, 4, and then work on it again until fluent. So now we're going back to looking at the circle of fifths, find the key to the other side of C major. We're going to go this way around. So a key a fifth away from C major is F major, which you can see here has one flat, and the first flat is always B flat. So if I disappear, you can see F major on the screen. So these counters that are on the Bs are going to have to be moved onto B flats, and then everything else is exactly the same after that. Time. And back to the circle of fifths a final time. We need to look at the relative minor for F major, which is D minor. So that means that's also going to have just a B flat, same key signature as F major. So we have the counters covering the notes from D to D with black counters on the tonic and dominant. That's the first and the fifth notes of the scale. So that's D, this case. And we know the B's are flattened in the key signature, so any counters on a B, I'm going to move up to a B flat. And then just watch the shape of the scale. And just mark out the fingering in right hand, thumb on the tonic, 2, 3, 4, thumb on the dominant, 2, 3, thumb on the tonic, 2, 3, 4, thumb on the dominant, 2, 3, turn around on the fourth, 3, 2, thumb on the dominant, 4, 3, 2, tonic, 3, 2, dominant, 4, 3, 2, finish. Left hand as with all the other ones, starting with little finger, 4, 3, 2, thumb on the dominant, 3, 2, thumb on the tonic, 4, 3, 2, thumb on the dominant, 3, 2. Turn around with thumb, 2, 3, thumb on the dominant, 2, 3, 4, thumb on the tonic, 2, 3, thumb on the dominant, 2, 3, 4. And keep rehearsing that until that is fluent. So just a couple more things we've got to do. A minor arpeggio, there's 2 arpeggios. So we've gone back to A minor, covering the notes, all the white notes from A to A. And arpeggio consists of the first, third and fifth note of each scale. So I'm going to take away second, fourth, sixth and seventh from each octave. Second, fourth, second, fourth. So we should be left with this pattern. So I've just slightly changed the colours to illustrate the fingering a bit better. So we've got the black ones for thumb and the orange ones for fingers 2 and 3. And very nearly lastly, we've got G major arpeggio, so I've just moved all the counters down 1. It's exactly the same pattern, 1 lower. The key of G major has F sharps, but because the arpeggio consists of just the first, third and fifth notes of the scale, and F would be the 7th, F sharp would be the 7th, we don't have to worry about that. So same pattern and same fingering as well. So thumb, 2, 3, thumb, 2, 3, turn around on 5, 3, 2, thumb, 3, 2, thumb. Left hand, start on little finger, and 3, 2, thumb, 3, 2, thumb, 2, 3, thumb, 2, 3, and little finger to finish. I'll finish with the scale that most people find the easiest. We're back to C major, but we're going to do it in what's called contrary motion, which means opposite motion. So these are our notes. I'll just maybe start with the left hand first, so keep the same fingering idea, in that the left hand will play the G with the thumb. Then simply start your right hand with the thumb on the same note, middle C, and just allow it to make a mirror image pattern. Right, I hope this has been of some help.